Have you ever wondered how a string of digital code became one of the most talked about assets in the world? We're talking about Bitcoin. In just over a decade, it's gone from a niche interest for tech geeks to a global phenomenon, even showing up on Wall Street. So, what is all the hype about? Why are so many people, from seasoned investors to everyday Americans, suddenly paying attention to digital money? To really get it, we need to rewind a bit. Think about our traditional money system. It's controlled by banks and governments. When you send money to a friend, it doesn't go directly to them. It goes through a bank, a middleman that takes a small fee and keeps a record of the transaction. This system works, but it has its issues. It can be slow, expensive, and it relies on you trusting these big institutions completely. What if there was a way to send money directly to anyone, anywhere in the world, almost instantly, without needing a bank? That's the problem Bitcoin set out to solve. In 2008, a mysterious person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto published a paper. Nobody knows who Satoshi really is to this day. But their idea was revolutionary. They proposed a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, a way for people to transact directly with each other, cutting out the middleman entirely. The technology that makes this all possible is called the blockchain. Imagine a digital notebook that's shared with thousands of people around the world. Every time a Bitcoin transaction happens, it's recorded as a block in this notebook. Because this digital notebook or ledger is distributed across a massive network of computers, it's incredibly secure. To change a single transaction, a hacker would need to alter that block and every single block that came after it across thousands of computers simultaneously. It's practically impossible, which makes the blockchain tamper-proof and transparent. Everyone can see the transactions, but the identities of the people are kept private, represented by a string of letters. And numbers known as a public key or your Bitcoin address. This process is how new Bitcoin enters circulation. And it's also what keeps the entire network secure and running smoothly. One of the most fascinating things about Bitcoin is its scarcity. Like traditional currencies, which governments can print more of whenever they want, potentially causing inflation, Bitcoin has a strict limit. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. That's it. No more can ever be created. This fixed supply is a core part of its design. The scarcity is why many people call Bitcoin digital gold. Bitcoin shares some of these qualities in the digital world. It's rare, it's durable, because it lives on the blockchain, and it can be sent across the globe in minutes. This concept of a scarce digital asset is a big reason why many Americans and investors worldwide started getting interested. They see it as a potential hedge against inflation, and a new kind of asset for the digital age. The early days of Bitcoin were wild. Think about it, the first commercial transaction was for 2 pizzas, which cost 10,000 Bitcoin. At today's prices, that would be an incredibly expensive meal. Early adopters were mostly programmers and cypherpunks who were fascinated by the technology. They mined Bitcoin on their home computers and traded it on obscure forums. They saw the potential when most of the world saw nothing but confusing code. Their belief in early participation laid the groundwork for everything that came after. Fast forward to today, and the landscape has completely changed. You can buy Bitcoin on your phone through user-friendly apps. Major companies are adding it to their balance sheets. People are using it for everything from international remittances to long-term savings. The journey from a mysterious white paper to a global financial asset has been nothing short of extraordinary. It challenged our ideas about what money is and who should control it. Of Of course, it hasn't been a smooth ride. The price of Bitcoin is famously volatile, with huge swings up and down. It's a new technology, and with that comes risk and uncertainty. But whether you see it as the future of finance or just a fascinating experiment, there's no denying the impact Bitcoin has had. It started a conversation that's changing the world. So that's a quick rundown of Bitcoin. It's a decentralized digital currency. It's powered by a secure network called the blockchain, with a limited supply that makes it a unique asset. It was created to give power back to the individual, allowing for open and direct transactions. It's complex, it's controversial, and it might just be one of the most important inventions of our time. We're still in the early chapters of this story, and nobody knows exactly where it will go next. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of tech and finance. See you in the next video. All right, let's talk about the big question. Why is Bitcoin so valuable? What makes this digital thing worth so much? To really get it, we first have to look at the money we use every day, like the US dollar. Think about what's been happening lately. You see prices going up for gas, for groceries, for almost everything? That's inflation. It means your dollar buys less today than it did yesterday. A big reason for this is that governments and central banks, like the Federal Reserve, can print more money whenever they want. When they pump more dollars into the economy, the value of each individual dollar goes down. Simple supply and demand. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. It's completely different. No single person, government, or bank controls it. This is what we call decentralization. Instead of a central authority, Bitcoin is run by a massive global network of computers. This network is what verifies and records every single transaction. Think of it like a public ledger that everyone can see, but no one can change on their own. So why does this matter? Well, unlike the US dollar, there's a hard cap on the number of Bitcoins that will ever exist. 21 million. That's it. No more can ever be created. This makes Bitcoin a scarce asset, a lot like gold. For centuries, people have used gold as a store of value because you can't just make more of it. Bitcoin is like digital gold. It's designed to be deflationary, meaning its purchasing power could actually increase over time as demand grows for its limited supply. Because of this, many people, especially in the US, have started looking at Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. They see it as a way to protect their savings from losing value. And it's not just individuals. Big institutions are getting on board too. We're seeing major companies like Tesla and Block add Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Major banks and financial firms are starting to offer Bitcoin services to their clients. This institutional adoption is a huge vote of confidence. It tells the market that the big players are taking Bitcoin seriously as a legitimate asset. When these huge companies buy in, it creates more demand and legitimacy, which in turn can drive up the price. Now, you might be thinking, is it secure? How do I know my Bitcoin won't just get stolen or the network hacked? The Bitcoin network is protected by something called cryptography, which is incredibly complex math. It's what makes the network so secure. To hack the Bitcoin network, someone would need to control more than half of the computing power of the entire global network. The amount of energy and money required to do that is astronomical, making it practically impossible. In fact, the Bitcoin network has been running 24/7 for over a decade without ever being successfully hacked. That's a track record that even some major banks can't claim. This security and decentralization also mean that Bitcoin can't be controlled or censored. No government can freeze your Bitcoin wallet or stop you from sending a transaction. This is a powerful feature, especially for people living under unstable governments, but it also matters right here. It means you have true ownership of your money. It's why you see small businesses in the US starting to accept Bitcoin. It gives them more control and can even lower transaction fees compared to credit cards. People are using it for all sorts of things, from buying a coffee to sending money to family across the world without the high fees of traditional remittance services. Of course, we have to talk about volatility. You've probably seen the headlines. Bitcoin's price skyrockets one month and then drops the next. This is absolutely true. Bitcoin is still a relatively new asset, and its market is much smaller than, say, gold or the stock market. This means its price can swing wildly based on news, regulations, or even just market sentiment. This volatility is the risk part of the equation. Investing in Bitcoin isn't a guaranteed path to riches, and you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. But with that high risk comes the potential for high reward. For many U.S. investors, the potential upside of Bitcoin is worth the volatility. They see an asset that is scarce, decentralized, secure, and increasingly adopted by the mainstream. They are betting on its long-term potential as a global store of value and a new kind of financial network. The journey of Bitcoin is really about a shift in what we consider valuable. It challenges the traditional idea that money has to be issued and controlled by a government. Instead, it proposes a system based on mathematics, transparency, and a global community. It's a bold idea, and that's a big part of what makes it so valuable to so many people. So, to wrap it all up, Bitcoin's value comes from a combination of factors. It's decentralized, so no one can control it. It has a limited supply, making it a potential hedge against inflation, much like digital gold. It's becoming more accepted by big institutions, adding to its legitimacy. And it's built on an incredibly secure network that gives people true ownership of their assets. Yes, it's volatile and it's risky, but it also represents a fundamental shift in how we think about money and value. It's a technology with the potential to change the future of finance. Thanks so much for watching. You found this explanation helpful? Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of crypto. We'll see you in the next video. Let's start with what the experts are saying. Many seasoned analysts, from Wall Street veterans to Silicon Valley pioneers, see Bitcoin as digital gold. This isn't just about making it easier for people to buy Bitcoin, it's a signal of legitimacy. It tells the world that Bitcoin is being integrated into the traditional financial system. The more people who use and believe in Bitcoin, the more valuable and resilient the network becomes. This predictable reduction in supply, paired with potentially increasing demand, is the core of the bullish argument for Bitcoin's long-term value. Sounds crazy, but let's break down the logic. For Bitcoin to reach $100,000, its market capitalization would need to be around $2 trillion. That's still significantly less than the market cap of gold. For it to reach $500,000 per coin, it would rival the total market cap of gold, which currently sits around $15 trillion. The argument here is that if Bitcoin truly becomes digital gold, a primary store of value for a new generation, capturing even a fraction of the value currently stored in gold, real estate, and bonds is not out of the realm of possibility. It's a bold vision, but it's one that a growing number of investors are betting on. The path won't be a straight line. There will be gut-wrenching drops and euphoric highs. But the underlying trend of digitalization and decentralization seems undeniable. So where does this leave you? The journey into Bitcoin is a personal one. It starts with education, not speculation. Don't just take my word for it or anyone else's. Dive in and do your own research. Read the original Bitcoin white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto. It's only 9 pages. Listen to podcasts from different experts, both bulls and bears. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Ever wondered what happens behind the curtain of the AI that's changing our world? How do you get from a simple idea to a stunning piece of video content generated by artificial intelligence? Today, we are re-pulling back that curtain and giving you the exact technical instructions used to create videos just like this one. First, let's talk about the canvas. Every video starts with a frame, and for a cinematic feel that looks great on screens big and small, we use a 16:9 aspect ratio. This is the standard for widescreen content, ensuring your visuals fill the viewer's screen without any awkward black bars. It's the universal language of modern video. The voice. The narrator is the soul of a documentary-style video. The instruction is specific. An American male narrator with a smooth, deep voice. But here's the crucial part. No robotic tones. The delivery must be natural with the cadence and warmth of a human storyteller. This builds trust and keeps the audience engaged, making complex topics feel accessible and compelling. It's about creating a connection, not just relaying information. Now, what about what you see on screen? Static shots are a thing of the past. To keep the story moving and visually interesting, we use what's called cinematic B-roll. These are the supplemental shots, the beautiful flowing footage that illustrates the narrative. Think sweeping landscapes, detailed close-ups, and dynamic action shots. We also weave in custom animations to break down complex ideas into simple, digestible visuals. This combination of real-world footage and animated graphics creates a rich, layered viewing experience. Color is emotion, sets the mood and tone of the entire piece. The specific instruction here is for a teal-orange color grade, a popular choice in documentary and cinema. Why? This color combination mimics the natural contrast between warm skin tones and cool backgrounds, like a blue sky or a city at dusk. It creates a look that's both professional and visually pleasing, drawing the viewer's eye to the important elements in the frame. It's a subtle art that has a massive impact on how the story feels. Let's talk about the soundscape. The right music can elevate a video from good to unforgettable. The request is for soft, documentary cinematic background music. It shouldn't overpower the narration, but should complement it, swelling at emotional moments and receding to let the story breathe. The goal is to enhance the mood without being distracting, guiding the viewer's emotional journey from start to finish. In our fast-paced world, many people watch videos on mute. But for this style, the instruction is clear. No subtitles unless the platform forces them. This choice is intentional. It encourages the viewer to listen, to fully immerse themselves in the experience we've crafted with voice and music. It prioritizes the auditory experience, making the narrator's voice the primary guide. Finally, it all has to come together seamlessly. The transitions between scenes, from B-roll to animation, from one shot to the next, must be smooth and professional. No jarring cuts or clumsy effects. Each transition is carefully chosen to maintain the flow of the narrative, creating a polished final product that feels effortless and high quality. A great transition is one you don't even notice. It just feels right. So there you have it. Secret recipe for creating a professional, AI-assisted documentary-style video. From the 16:9 ratio and the natural deep voice to the cinematic B-roll, the teal-orange color grade, and the subtle background music. Every single detail is a deliberate choice, designed to create a powerful and engaging story. It's a fascinating blend of human creativity and technical precision. The next time you watch a video like this, you'll know exactly what went into making it. Thanks for watching. If you found this behind the scenes look interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of content creation. I'll see you in the next one.